everyone, I have a flip-flop journal for you today. This is, as you can see, a floral journal. It's very pink and green, so it will only appeal to a few of you, I would imagine, but pink and green is really my favorite combination. And this little bit of yellow that is added in, I just love. This is an image from Amity Bloom, and throughout this journal I have used digitals from Amity Bloom as well as Ruby and Pearl. I've used some tailor-made journals and some Poole designs as well. So you can check their stores or their Etsy shops for these images if they appeal to you. And I will just list those Etsy shops that I use below so that you can refer to them. Now, before I get into the journal, I want to share with you some of the stamps that I use because I do have a lot of questions as I go through my journals about what stamp is that from. So I just wanted to share that so it might make it a bit easier for you. So this is the stamp that I usually use on that die cut, which you will see. Now this is one that I got from Blitsy a number of years ago. I don't even know if you can see that. Can you see? No. Okay. Anyway, it's called Royal Posthumous, and I don't even know if it would even still be available, but that's that stamp. The other one that I get a lot of questions on is this notes stamp. This is part of a larger stamp, as you can see, from Inka Dinka Do. And I don't know if you can see that, but that's the number. And all I do, you can see the only part of it that I've used is the note stamp, and I just color that in using a Gathered Twigs distress marker from Tim Holtz, and that's how I get that individual note stamp there. And then the other ones that I use are the Prima Something Blue collection. I use this dated stamp and the Note to Self stamp. And then the Poole stamps. I love these. I have so many of hers, but these are the two sets that I usually use for the date stamp, the Papier à Lettres stamp, and just a few other ones, the Paris stamp as well. So I wanted to share that with you because I have had a fair amount of questions on those, so I wanted to just show you what I do. So I have just tied this with a little bit of twine, and the front image is backed onto some craft paper here, edged with a little bit of gold rub and buff, and then I've just added some of my aged tape. So going inside, I have just clipped it with a rusty paper bulldog clip there, and then I've added this little scrap paper pad here, and just added a little bit of trim with a button at the top, and I've used my punch here to make it look like it's been ripped out of a book. On the inside, so this is of course made from 3 envelopes. The smaller envelope, I've just cut the top and bottom off, and then added a couple of baking paper pockets to it and a little bit of coffee dyed lace, and then just added a few tags and so on to be used throughout the journal. So this is a die cut that I always stamp that note stamp on. And then I've just added a few tags here. This is from the Ruby and Pearl collection, and then this is an image from the Graphics Fairy. So that's the first envelope. Here I've added a little bit of some vintage crochet trim that I had. I had hoped to make a pocket here, but I just didn't have enough, so I've just added it to embellish the edge of the page. Tab, and then that note stamp there. Here I have a top tuck. I've just paper clipped on with my rusted paper clip. This extra paper here, just an extra spot to journal. An envelope from Ruby and Pearl. A little flower, that is from, from Tsunami Rose. She has some, just some I think she calls them decoupage flowers, so I've just printed that. And then in this vintage glassine bag, I had seen Meredith from, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, Meredith, I've forgotten the name of your shop now. Chermare Collectives, sorry. She had on a few of her journals, just had stamped some images onto some craft paper and just attach them. And so I haven't done that on the pages. I've just done a few of the stamps, as I showed you, from the Sam Poole's collections, and just added them to this glassine envelope here. And again, they can be used throughout the journal. I've added this pretty kind of rosette trim to the side, so you can see the whole theme here is very pink and very green, although I do have a little bit of a kind of a turquoisey color thrown in the odd place as well. This is from Amity Bloom, this craft color. In this envelope, this is a graphics fairy image, and this envelope is from Genevieve Design. She has a little flip-flop journal collection on her site, so you can check that out. On the other side of the Amity Bloom paper, rather than just folding that over, I've just glued it on the side to make a little tuck spot here. And I've got this button card that I just thought would be a nice journaling card, and then that really pretty floral image from Ruby and Pearl. Another fancy tab here. I've used a little bit of vintage doily, a little bit of aged tape. On the side here, I have just a ruffle, and that is a bit of sari ribbon. Then over top, I've also gathered in some sheer fabric, and then just added to a rusted bulb pin, a couple of tabs, or a couple of tags, and a little bit of sari ribbon there. Here I have clipped on a couple of things. This is from Ruby and Pearl. She just had some scrap paper printables that I've used here. This is a Ruby and Pearl wallpaper, and I've just made it into a little kind of journaling spot, double journaling spot. And then this is Amity Bloom. On this side, this is just a little button card. This is from Luna Razu. You can check out her Etsy shop for those button cards. Little tag and just a journaling spot there. And then this is just a folded envelope image to use. In the pocket, so this is the first large envelope. So I have just added in this pink invoice there. On this side, baking paper pocket here, just an embossed tag, another image from the graphics fairy, and then this is just a scanned image of a tag, a vintage tag that I have. This is from Amity Bloom's, I think it's called Her Pink Bow. No, it's not. I use that collection, the Her Pink Bow collection, and this is just a book cover, and it comes in a couple of sizes. I've used the largest size here. Some vintage ledger paper that I have, another ruffle, some of the fancy ledger from Ruby and Pearl. This is an envelope in the middle here from Genevieve Designs Flip Flop Journal collection. Here I've added, again, another little pocket rather than just a fold over here. This is from Angela Kerr Designs, and then that is from Ruby and Pearl. And just an envelope here that I've made into just a tuck spot and added a little journaling card. little lace pocket here, another of the scrap papers there, a tag, and a journaling spot. And on this tab, I've just punched a hole in the top, and I've got a little charm that I made there, and then just a little die cut there. Square doily that I've folded into a pocket here, and then added a tag and a little journaling card. On this side, another baking paper pocket, and then I've used the Sam Poole Polaroids and stamped it, backed it onto some craft paper, and then just added a little topper, and it is backed onto some embossed paper there. This is just a little envelope. I don't have anything in it. That's from the Amity Bloom collection. On this side, another top tuck spot, and here I have added just a journaling card that I made. I've embossed a frame onto just a kind of a plain back of an envelope there, and just some extra journaling space there. So I've used the front image in a couple of different ways. So not only did I use it for the front image, I've also printed it onto vellum here just as an extra spot. And you'll see I've also used it as a journaling card, and I've made a bag out of it as well. So I think it's one of my very favorite images, so that's why I've used it in a few different ways in this journal. Here I have attached, this is a pocket from Genevieve Designs collection, and then I've just added over top of the pocket part of it, just a few kind of layering pieces. And I have added a little die cut here, a tag, and then another tag that I've made just out of some paper or printable wallpaper from Ruby and Pearl. Really pretty pink invoice here. And in the center, I've got an image that I printed on vellum, and then I've added a scan of a vintage photo that I have, and just another journaling card that I made. And then this is from Sam Poole. She has a doily paper collection, and I've just reduced the image to I think 8 by 10 and just added it there for some extra space. And at the back, another of the envelope backs there, just as a tuck spot, and then more doily paper there. That is not from Sam Poole. I've forgotten now what collection that's from. I just happened to have it in my stash. Another baking paper pocket here, a little die cut that I've stamped, coffee dyed bag with a little bit of trim, and then I've just added in another of the scrap paper images from Ruby and Pearl. And then this is also from that Sam Poole collection. That's one of my favorite. I like the kind of the purpley writing on the side there. In this bag, I have just a tall kind of journaling spot. That's from Amity Bloom. And then another doily page here. So this is the bag that I made from the front cover image, and this is just printed onto tracing paper. And then I have just added a tag that I made here. Oh, there's that front cover paper as well. Another tab. More vellum printed. I think this is from, that's from Amity Bloom as well. These pockets, again, printed on vellum, and I've added another image, wallpaper image from Ruby and Pearl that I've just made into a little journaling spot there. Another of the scrap papers from Ruby and Pearl, and then just another journaling card that I've made. And here I have added a couple of small tags, a little charm that I made. There's a little bit of gold rub and buff on that. And then I've just added a little flower that again is from Tsunami Rose, and I've just added that. Little envelope here. That is a policy envelope. I've added a little sheer pocket with some sari ribbon on top, and then just this kind of fairly plain tag that I've added in. Another flip that I've made into a pocket here. And I've got a couple of things here. That's an image from Ruby and Pearl. And then a couple of just journaling spots here. These are all Ruby and Pearl. Really pretty Language of Flowers image that I've used as a topper to the other part of the bag, and just added it to, that's a little bit of baking paper. And then just a journaling card with a tab that I've made. Another Poole Designs image here. I backed it onto some craft paper and a little bit of that sheer fabric, and then just added an embossed tag there. And a couple more things I've stamped. This is, I believe that's, I think that's a Graphics Fairy image. And I've just stamped on the bottom. And then another insert. And you can see I've kind of pulled in that turquoisey color. Here I've just added a little scrap paper flip, just a couple of stamps on it. This is a Ruby and Pearl image, and then I've just added my Tiffany stamp on a die cut there. So it's really filled with lots of trims and tabs, lots of journaling space. And of course, these things are mainly just clipped in, and so they can be used throughout or not used at all, depending how you would want to use the journal. Here I have added a couple of buttons to one of the Luna Razu button cards. This is from Amity Bloom, and then this envelope, there isn't anything in it, but it is from that Genevieve Designs Flip Flop Journal printable collection that she has. And then in the other side of the bag here, I've used as a journaling card that front image again, and just added a little tab to the top. And the last pocket here, again, a baking paper pocket, and I have added in a little envelope here from Ruby and Pearl, little tag there, and just another printable there. So that is my newest Flip Flop journal, very pink, very green. And I did just want to show you, this is printed onto photo paper, so you can see how bright and clear the colors are. This is my summer journal, and I used the same image, printed of course larger, but it's not on photo paper, and so you can see the clarity that you get with photo paper. So if you're looking for really true bright color, I would recommend using some photo paper. So anyway, just a little tip. So thanks for joining me. This is available in my Etsy shop, and I will link that below. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you again soon.